Hello everyone, welcome back on my channel Lesson Plan Corner. Today in this video we are going to see what was Skinner operant conditioning theory, and I have already uploaded theory related to Skinner, Pavlov, Kohlberg and Thorndike. That is trial and error theory. If you need that theory, please do check it on my channel. And yes, if you need the PDF, then please comment me yes in the comment section below. I will provide you PDF of this video. And yes, if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, then please do subscribe it for more B.Ed related videos. Now let's see what was basically Skinner's operant conditioning theory. So this theory was basically invented by Skinner. His full name was B.F. Skinner, and he was most influential American psychologist. Okay, and he usually do experiments on different animals and birds and check their behaviors also. So this type of theory Skinner has done on rat, as well as he has done the same thing on pigeon also. But today in this video we are just going to see the experiment that he has done on a rat. Okay, so let's see what was this theory. So basically he placed a rat in a special cage. Okay, so he placed a rat in a special cage, and in that cage basically there was two buttons, red buttons and green buttons. Okay, so green button, if the green button is on and he will press that loop. You can see here, you can see two buttons are there. One is green button and one is a red button, and the rat has been placed on a wire. So basically if he will press the loop, will get the pallet of food. Okay, so basically he had to choose in between these two buttons, and he had to press only green button if he wanted to get that food pallet. Now after doing many trial and error, we can say, after sometimes he get to know that he had to just press the loop when green button is on. Okay, and avoid red button. So he did that. Whenever he sees that red button is on, he try to avoid pressing that loop. Okay, and whenever green button is on, he tries to immediately press the loop and get that food. So this way he, after doing errors, he finally get to know the difference between green button and red button. So this was basically experiment that Skinner has done on the rat. There was one more experiment. Skinner has done the same experiment on pigeon also. Okay, so this is called as Skinner operant conditioning theory. Okay, so let's see. So this, all the content you can see here is basically describing all the story that we learn now. So okay, here you can see. So after this, here you can see, through operant conditioning, an association is made between a behavior and a consequences for that behavior. For example, when a lab rat press a lever when a green light is on, they receive a food pallet as a reward. When they press the lever when a red light is on, they receive a mild electric shock. As a result, they learn to press the lever when the green light is on and avoid the red light. So basically we have already understood this point, that he, after doing many trial and error, he came to know that he has to avoid the red button in order to avoid the electricity that was passing through that wire, and always he was trying to press the loop when green button is on in order to get the food. Now Skinner identified three types of responses or operand that can follow behavior. First is neutral operand. So what basically is neutral operands? It can either be increase or decrease. So probability of behavior being repeated means, there is no probability that there is an increasement or there should be an increase or decrease in any action. Okay, second, you can see here is reinforcer, responses from the environment that increase the probability of a behavior being repeated. Reinforcer can be either positive or negative. So here we see in this experiment, what was reinforcer? That food pellet, it was actually reinforcing rat to press the green button. Okay, so here that food is working as a reinforcer, and reinforcer can either be negative or positive. Now let's see punishers. What is punishers? So responses from the environment that decrease the likelihood of the action being repeated. If we want to eliminate any behavior that we think is not good, we can eliminate that, okay, by using punishers. Okay, punishers weakens behavior, and punishers helps to weakens the behavior that we do not like. Okay, reinforcer or reinforcement, basically there are two types of reinforcement. First is positive reinforcement. So we have understand this in the experiment that we have learned in this video. What was positive reinforcement? Positive reinforcement means a reinforcement that was being given to rat to do the things in the right way. So what basically was reinforcer? Food was basically here positive reinforcer. The more rat will push that loop, the more he will get the food. So basically it is called as positive reinforcement. What is negative reinforcement? Negative reinforcement here was the electric loop. So to avoid that electric current, he was trying to avoid that red button. So basically here that was negative reinforcement, and in order to avoid the electricity, what was he doing? He was trying to avoid the red button. Okay, so this is the difference between positive and negative reinforcement, you can see here. Okay, now let's see types of reinforcement. So the first is continuous reinforcement, the reinforcement that we are continuously giving. Like in experiment we have seen that reinforcement was being given to rat continuously. Okay, Skinner was reinforcing rat by giving him food pellet. Okay, so the more he press the green button, the more and the soon he will be able to get that pellet. Second you can see here is fixed ratio schedules. So here we can say behavior is reinforced only after the behavior occurs as a specified number of times. Example, one reinforcement is given after every so many correct answers. Like suppose if we are teaching to child, okay, and if we can say them that if you will give the answer, if you will give the answer, or if you can recite this table, like if we say if you will recite this table, and if you will say this table correctly 5 times, then I am going to give you reward for this. Then student will motivate to speak the same table for 5 times. Okay, so this is known as fixed ratio schedules, where we are actually telling a child and we are motivating child to repeat the behavior. Okay, and we are also giving times like 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, like this. Okay, and now let's see third is fixed interval schedules. So what is fixed interval schedules? Here we will see it is given after a fixed time interval, providing at least one correct response has been made. For example, is being paid by the hour. Another example would be every 15 minutes. Like suppose we can say students that if you will study for like 15 if you will study for like 15 minutes, I will give you a reward for that. And After each 15 minutes, we will give reward to students also. Here you can see fourth variable ratio schedules. So behavior is reinforced after an unpredictable number of times. Means here reinforcement is has been given for unpredictable times. Number of times means here number of reinforcement we cannot predict that. Fifth, here you can see variable interval schedules. So reinforcement is given after an unpredictable amount of times. Like suppose if a self-employed person being paid at unpredictable time, so we cannot predict that what time he is going to get his payment. So he can get paid at any time. So now it is unpredictable. So it is known as variable interval schedules. Now let's see education implication of this theory. First is conditioning study behavior. So we can use this theory to condition the mind of a child. Like here Skinner has conditioned rat by eliminating bad behavior and implementing good behavior. He used positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement, so we can use the same things for a child. Second, you can see conditioning and classroom behavior. So we can condition the mind of child and we can also make some changes in the behavior of a child. Okay, if we want to make some type of behavior, suppose if child behavior is not up to our satisfaction, then we can make some improvement in his behavior by using the same theory. Here you can see dealing with anxieties, okay, and identifying the consequences of the behavior. So this can also be used to identify the consequences of the behavior. Now let's see criticism. So this theory has been criticized by many psychologists. Noam Chomsky criticized Skinner by saying that these experiments are not applicable to the human being, because this experiment has been done on rat, so he says that the same thing cannot be applicable for human beings. Okay, Edwin Tolman's, he has actually done an experiment demonstrating that it is not necessary to give reinforcement every time to student for study. Okay, so it is learning can also be possible without giving any type of reinforcer. So like this, this theory has been criticized a lot. The biological critics have observed that certain species are predisposed certain type of thing. Everything cannot be taught to every species. So many psychologists were saying that everything we cannot teach to every species. Okay. Now, some psychologists argue we cannot generalize from studies on animals to humans as their anatomy. Means many psychologists were saying that we cannot even compare animal and human beings because they are totally different species, and the experiment that has been done on rat, it is not necessary that same thing will be we can apply to human also, because both of them are different species and we cannot even compare both of them. So like this theory of Skinner has been criticized a lot by psychologists. Okay, so this was my video on Skinner's theory. If you like this theory and if you like this video, then please do not forget to like, share and subscribe my channel, because in this channel you will get video related to B.Ed as well as PDF also you are going to get. If you like this video, then please do not forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. We will meet in next video. Till then, bye bye and take care.